We all have a relationship with external logic, a relationship with looking outside of us and seeing what works and what doesn't work. We all have a relationship with progress, with effectiveness. Peace. It's Travis Soda. It's Pure Sound Daily Business. Continuing on with our relationship breakdown and psychological type. Today we're talking about extraverted thinking and what we have a nickname for called effectiveness. It's really, I always like the word progress. How we see things getting done. Now, for me and my best fit type as an INTJ, this is my second function, second channel. Technical name is the auxiliary, with the personality hacker car model, the co-pilot, the navigator. This is how I ultimately see the world, and I lean on it. And I say ultimately because it's really meaning outside of myself, the world, the external world, the physical world. And extroverted thinking, thinking and feeling being the judging functions. So how we make decisions, how we judge things. When we talk about that aspect and the pure sound method and how we walk through the processing of the mind, and that this is how the thinking function is how we categorize and define the world. So I categorize and define things based on whether or not they work, whether or not I see progress, whether or not they actually get done in the physical world, in the world of manifest. So that's the one judging function, is thinking. The other would be feeling. And that is how it makes us feel, whether we're calm or agitated, whether we find it pleasant or unpleasant. But again, today we're talking about extroverted thinking. Also, like I say, it's external logic. What we see happen external of ourselves and how we see the logic coming together compared to internal logic or introverted thinking, to where what makes sense to us based on frameworks and systems, mental frameworks, mental systems that we've accumulated. But for me, and I'll say it now, I'll say it to the end of my days, that I've done a lot of growth. I can see things different type of ways. But when it really comes down to it, and making a decision, making taking a firm stance on something, when things get hard for me, and I gotta say, okay, this is tough. This could go either way. I am going to choose to stand on what I see works. I'm going to stand on whether or not I see the thing working or not. And this is good in areas like business, areas like coaching, in leadership, where we have a common goal, a common focus. It's not great in areas of research, in areas of speculation, imagination. I say this function is second in movement only to extroverted sensing. And that if we talk about energetically, extroverted sensing is the literal moment and maybe literally moving in your body and that sensory information. And that's a perceiving function. So that's how we look at the world, take in information. And the thinking function, extroverted thinking, it's a judging function, how we make decisions, and how we categorize it. Does this work? Doesn't it work? Are we checking this off the list? Or is it still on the list? We crossing it off? Did it break down? One of the like things that end up being a advantage and disadvantage is that with extroverted thinking, I'm looking for good enough. To where introverted thinking tends to keep on refining. Keep on refining the idea, keep on refining the system, keep on refining the details of the system. To where I just say, hey, this is good enough, let's move forward. And not all the time. When I was younger, I think I was stuck in a more analytical, in a more analysis paralysis demonstration. And I believe that in general, this Western society idealizes thinking versus is a thinking society. So I know some people say Western civilization, this is thinking and all thinking has been ruling, and I don't buy that. All these frequencies are going on all the time. And nothing would get done if only one frequency was ruling, quote unquote. And yet extroverted thinking rules things getting done. It is the getting done frequency. For good, for bad. Again, we're humans. We ultimately categorize and define these things on what is good and what's bad. This frequency of extroverted thinking gets a lot put on it. Gets a lot put on it as far as business and unethical practices, moral practices. These are all things that humans put on this frequency. I look at these frequencies as existing outside of us. I look at these frequencies, these are mental frequencies. I look at them as real as gravity. So I wouldn't say gravity wants to pull people to their death if they take a step off the side of a cliff. Gravity is just doing what it do. Extroverted thinking is just doing what it do. Getting it done. So what's your relationship with getting things done? With progressing? Big difference here is we talked about extroverted feeling, the energetic rapport between people, and extroverted thinking is the data rapport between getting something done. And you can't have one and the other at the same time all the time. So a lot of time, people that are feelers, you gotta learn to break the energetic rapport with yourself sometimes, with other people, so you can have that data rapport, the information rapport of thinking. And the reverse. As an extroverted thinker, I've had to learn how to let the data rapport go. Let the logic go. It's not king over everything. And learn how to connect more with myself and connect more with others. And that's how you truly grow and become a real leader. And that's how you really get stuff done. What's your relationship with this frequency? It's Travis Sotawell. It's Pure Sound Daily Business. Peace.